The Las Vegas Raiders got their second win of the season, but now they majorly level up in competition as they are flying to Kansas City to take on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, who are getting Rashee Rice back in this Week 7 matchup. My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down this game and provide our predictions at the end. Be sure to leave a comment. Let us know who you think is going to win and why. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. Get notified when new videos come out. We're trying to get to 8,000 subscribers, and we're only 300 or so away. So let's see if we can get there this week. And Ryan, let's get into it here. Kansas City Chiefs, a dominant win over Detroit on Sunday Night Football. And I think I'll come out and say this now. We've been critical of the Kansas City Chiefs and Mahomes' performance over the past couple of years. What I've seen from Mahomes so far this year, especially even to last night, and now you had Rashee Rice back. This reminds me of the offense from when they won the Super Bowls, like the Super Bowl winning offenses from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
When they beat the 49ers, they had improved throughout the year as well and was a good offense, but still struggled a little bit. Last year, I didn't think they should have made the Super Bowl. I think teams choked like to get them in that opportunity, and the defense was really good. I think this defense has taken a slight step back, but still really good. But this offense is it's elite. It's back to that elite performance, I think, from what it was.
Yeah.
Mahomes seems to be playing on a different level. And I say all that, and the Raiders, I don't know how you're going to stop it. I think it's going to be a tough matchup overall. It's an AFC West division game. These two teams, they don't like each other as well. Like there's a great rivalry between Mahomes and Max Crosby, which is always fun to watch. I think there's a lot of respect there between the two. But I outside of that, Ryan, how else do you think the Raiders can come in to Kansas City and into Arrowhead and pull off an upset?
Oh, how do the Raiders pull off the upset?
Yeah,
Uh, Patrick Mahomes has 3 turnovers and 2 of them are returned for a touchdown, and they have
just
5
like
sacks.
just like that Christmas Day game a couple years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. The Raiders do always play the Chiefs tough. I will say that. And Pete Carroll will definitely dial up some stuff, I think, to try to get the win on the road against a division opponent. But yeah, I will say that I have been the more critical one of the Chiefs of the two of us over the last 2 years. This is a Super Bowl team.
right.
The way this defense is playing, they're a top 10 defense in the league. This offense looks unstoppable. And the way that they're doing it, I mean, you go look, you're going to add Rashee Rice back into the mix, but you're going to have Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, Tyquan Thornton. Now you have Rashee Rice. Juju Smith-Schuster is now your 5th receiving option on this team, and that's a lot of speed. And that doesn't even count Travis Kelce. And this running game looked to have a little bit of a resurgence last night against what's supposed to be a good Detroit defense. And so for me, I really think that this Chiefs offense is the best we've seen in 3 or 4 years. And so hopefully Rashee Rice, I will also say he is coming off of a big time knee injury. So hopefully that doesn't impede his comeback at all as well.
Yeah,
So for me, I think the Chiefs come into this game and handle business, but I will also say they do need to go on a bit of a run here. They have dug themselves in a little bit of a hole. They still have Denver twice. They still have to play Buffalo. They play the Colts. They have some tough AFC matchups here coming up. And not that they need to be perfect. They don't need to finish the season 14-3, but they're really going to start losing out, I think, on top seed potential, and they're going to have to play 1, maybe 2 road playoff games if they lose 3 more games. I
yeah.
think in this season, and so I'm looking for them to go on a bit of a run here, and I think it starts with this game where they can really get this offense right. Rashee Rice gets a nice little tune-up game here against I think one of the lesser defenses in the NFL outside of Max Crosby. We were talking about this before we started recording. There's kind of Malcolm Kuntz, and that's about it, I think, for this team. So maybe Pete Carroll can throw some things in there that'll stifle this run game or maybe slow down Mahomes a little bit. But I think at the end of the day, the Chiefs get this one done relatively convincingly.
Yeah, I'll come back to my opinions on the Chief here and Mahomes in a second. But like 'cause looking at this Raiders team as well too, I I think the biggest thing is going to be how is this offensive line going to give Geno Smith the time to even look through his options at receivers, which also at the same time are not really super effective options just in general. I know they have Jacoby Myers. There's maybe a couple of young pieces that they could develop, but with Brock Bowers being out, it's just not the same. Really, and even if it was just Brock Bowers, like if you really lean on him to get 120, 130 receiving yards, a game,
Yeah.
and he's playing like how he was last year, where else are they going to get the production in the passing game? And Ashton Jeanty, I really like what I see from him, but pound for pound, the offensive line he had at Boise State, it was giving him much better pushes than what this Las Vegas Raiders
Yeah.
offensive line is getting against. Now, of course, I know it's NFL competition, but so I think the offensive line is an issue. Combining that with they just don't have the skill position players around them to be fully effective, and that's where I think Chris Jones and Nick Bolton and this front seven are just going to feast on this offensive line. Really give Geno Smith a lot of fits as well too. I think they're going
Yeah.
to shut down Ash Genty, and this team has had moments when the offensive line goes up against comparable competition in the defensive line category, and like where they can give Ash Genty some lanes, have him be effective. That's going to open up things in the passing game. But we just really haven't seen what this Raiders offense could be yet because the offensive line just is not playing well. Colt Miller has been hurt too, to be fair, but also Brock Bowers not being there, I think also misses out on some of the potential. And
Yeah.
so then bring that then back to the Chiefs. I really like what this defense has done. And I also too, I think this defense is still working through some things. I don't think we've hit that peak Steve Spagnuolo defense yet that we typically see come mid-November, late December going into the playoffs. And so I think that defense is only going to keep on improving. But as you touched on it as well too, it's now with again Rashee Rice back, and they figured out things on the offensive line. The Chiefs that have been the Achilles heel over these past couple of years has been this offensive line. I think they figured out some things. Josh Simmons didn't even play last night, but I think he's been playing well in his
Yeah.
rookie year's left tackle. I think they found something there. Jalen Moore did a great job filling in, and I think it was a great signing as a swing tackle as well too to plop in there. But at the same time, you don't when you have this much speed you don't need as much offensive line help, and that's what they've been missing over these past couple of years. And that being said, the offensive line is still playing great. I I really think this offense is one I think as they keep on getting better as Rashee Rice gets more fit into their system now that he's going to be coming back. Barring injuries, though, this offense can take them to the Super Bowl just like how it was a couple years ago. And we were debating about this on another video here. And Mahomes has been playing at an MVP level. And I know their record's 3-3. There's a couple guys with like a little bit better stats, like a little more yards than him so far. I think Baker Mayfield's worthy of MVP the way he's been playing. But if you look at what Mahomes has done over these first 6 games, when Worthy's been out for a couple of games as well too, like the way he was playing when it was Juju Smith-Schuster and Tyquan Thornton were his top guys to throw to. I think he's been playing extremely well, and I only think it's going to keep on getting better. And this is admittedly too. I've never been against Patrick Mahomes, but I've also too
Yeah.
been like critical of them over the past couple of years. He is playing great. This offense
Yeah.
is,
The,
and I think it's only going to get better. This offense is only going to get better.
the big thing I think for me with Mahomes over the last few years was there was this just immediate claim that he was the best quarterback in the league. And while I'm not necessarily disputing those claims, you go look at it statistically, and he had a higher turnover worthy play rate than you would probably like. Statistically, touchdowns were down, yards were down.
I
Um,
think Aaron
it,
Rodgers with the Jets had better stats than
yeah,
him. And I know stats don't tell the whole picture,
yeah,
but like Aaron
but
Rodgers' stats were better than Mahomes' stats last year.
yeah, and so this year I think you come out and he has really just, I think he's top 5 or top 7 in passing
Yeah.
yards this year. He has a lot of touchdowns as well. You also look, it was tied his career high already for rushing touchdowns in a season with 4 after last night. And we're only a third of the way through the season. So I definitely think that there's a case for him for MVP. I think you got to have Baker in that conversation with how
Yeah.
he's played throughout the year. Josh Allen, again, always going to be up there. The dark horse is, as a Patriots fan, I think Drake May, right now, you go look at a lot of his metrics. He's top 3 in the league in a lot of things. I think yards, he's at 5. But you go look at third downs and EPA, and he's top 2 or 3 in the league in all of those major stats there as well. And he's a big part of why New England is 4-2. So I think all in all, Mahomes is having a fantastic start to the season. We're a third of the way through the year, so let's see if they can keep it up here. Did we officially say we're picking the Chiefs? I
I
think.
I think it was obvious. I'm picking the
Yeah,
Chiefs. Like
yeah.
I think in
Uh,
the way I started the video is like how I,
it,
how the Raiders going to slow down the Chiefs offense. I also think too as well. It's just going to be electric having Rashi Rice coming back into this
yeah,
offense here as well too. I think they're going to want to give him the ball. And just real quick too, talking about the Chiefs' schedule the rest of the way. So to your point, they're 3-3 as of right now. But let's say they win this one, even too. I really like them playing against the Commanders on Monday Night Football in Week 8 as well
that'll be a
too. I
good
think
one.
that's a good matchup. I think they're going to win that one. But then they're on the road at Buffalo, on the road at Denver, two places where they in the regular season have not played well. They seem to beat Buffalo in the playoffs all the time. But then Colts at Cowboys, that's going to be a great game on Thanksgiving
It's going to be
as well too.
47-40.
Yeah, but then I will say that. So after that, though, home against the Texans, home against the Chargers, who are decimated with injuries, and I think they're going to be a different team, a lot different team than when they played them Week 1 in Brazil. At Tennessee, home versus the Broncos, and then they're at Las Vegas. 5 very winnable games. Denver's going to be the toughest one.
Oh,
That's
by
gonna be tough.
far.
Chargers should still be tough, but
We'll see where the Chargers are health wise when that game
yeah,
comes around.
yeah. But even too at Dallas on Thanksgiving, I mean, they could go on a 6-game stretch there very easily and go 6-0 to finish out the season. So if they can ride through this little 3-game stretch of the Bills, Broncos, and Colts and come out with a winning record in those 3 games, like winning between those 3 games, come out at least 2-1. I really like their chances then to run the table the rest of the year.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I think this team, especially with how explosive this offense has been, um, I, uh, they have the chance to beat anybody. They
Yeah,
could outscore anybody. My one I say concern, and I'm gonna say why I'm not as concerned about it after last night's performance. Patrick Mahomes still leads the team in rushing yards, which I don't like. I just think you see teams a lot of times when they rely too much on one player for around 80% of their total offensive yards. I think that you see those teams really struggle, especially as the season wears on.
yeah,
Why I'm not as concerned about that is you go look last night and Detroit was just not, they were so prepared for the big play and not letting them throw the ball down the field that basically Patrick Mahomes would get to the line of scrimmage and then he would just see how far off the corners are. And then he'd just be like, well, I'm just going to throw it to Xavier Worthy or Juju Smith Schuster. And they're just going to run for 6 to 8 yards every single time. And they're like, literally, we kind of say this on this channel a lot, running the ball through the air. But they're literally just running the ball through the air because Mahomes, instead of turning around and handing the ball off to Isaiah Pacheco or Kareem Hunt, he's just throwing a immediate pass to whoever who's then getting and kind of simulating that run game that way. So that's why I'm not super concerned
yeah.
about it. But we'll see if that kind of continues. And I'm sure Andy Reid will dial up some stuff to either get this run game going or continue to find other ways to get easier yardage.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point, especially too, for being consistent. We talked a lot about that with Buffalo a couple years ago when Josh Allen was leading rusher and like they really struggled to run the ball, like with James Cook and everything. And it wasn't Cook's fault at all; it was the scheming of the offensive line.
Yeah.
But it does feel different here with that because a lot of times maybe they are calling a run play, but then they just do quick screens. But also then too on top of that, I've always thought the Chiefs receiving room has just been better than the Bills receiving room
Yeah.
overall. Like even too when Stephon Diggs, like when it was Tyreek Hill in Kansas City and then Stephon Diggs in Buffalo, like I still think, and then you have Travis Kelsey as the tight end there. Always thought the receiving room in Kansas City was just better. So they're just more efficient, I think, throwing the ball through the air. While with and they can still run the ball and get 3 or 4 yards at a time. I feel like it's still tough, but nowhere near what like that Buffalo Bills running game used to be. Now Buffalo, I mean, shoot, they'll have games where like if they know a defense can't run the ball, they're fine having Josh Allen have a 100 passing yards in a game and James
Oh,
Cook have
yeah.
200 rushing yards in a game. Like they are fine doing that now.
Yeah.
Um, I I I think it's a fair point and a fair concern. Like you don't want to be one dimensional, but the Mahomes and them are so effective
No,
that
no, I
it's just
agree.
different.
That's why I said I wasn't as concerned about it, because statistically speaking, again, as the seasons wear on, those teams do not do as well in the later part
Yeah.
of the season or in the playoffs. But they're finding other ways that are still crediting Mahomes with the yards that are basically simulating the run game. Uh,
Yeah.
that I think ease some of those
Yeah.
concerns that I think would carry over into December, January football. So
Yeah.
but let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead in this matchup. Will it be the Las Vegas Raiders? Will it be the Kansas City Chiefs? Other than that, we'll see you guys next time.